When I read this morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, I had to have a second cup of coffee to make sure I'd read it correctly.
Right.
It's pretty exciting stuff. But Lennar sales increases, incentives, temporary buy downs. Oh, excuse me, buy downs. Did somebody say buy downs? That's an artinism. And I just want to talk about some things that, like, what does this mean for your average customers who are, thinking about buying a home? Maybe they're refinancing. Maybe they're looking at doing a home equity line of credit. What does all this mean?
Well, that Lennar announcement. Well, let me back up a second. The new home sale number this week that came out, Lennar is a very good case study as to what went on there. It's like the stock market, like the Dow 30. They'll talk about on CNBC about if the stock market's up or down. A lot of times they'll attribute it to a certain handful of companies that are driving the market either up or down. In this case, Lennar is a very good, I think, benchmark or barometer on the new home sales segment of the economy. Lennar is a big national home builder. They build to the mass market, right? They're not the luxury home builder like Toll Brothers or something like that. Or on the Toll Brothers side, if you're building $2-3 million homes, you're going to be a little bit more sticky in terms of, conceding on your prices or offering buy downs or other incentives because, the wealthier folks out there are a little less price sensitive and you can kind of hang on until you reel in that buyer. Lennar is different. They're a mass market builder. And so they're got to be much more dialed into what does that prospective buyer want? Well, they want a couple of things. They want lower prices and they want lower rates. And so Lennar really, really is dialed into that. And so what was so interesting about this release to 800,000, again, more than 20% higher than the previous period. And of course, in Lennar's case,